Morning.
Morning. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
I am just having troubles hearing myself. So I am, let's see. How is everyone today? It's beautiful outside.
Doing well. How
Good,
about you?
good.
Good. Welcome to Solopreneurs Mastermind series. My name is Maura Mitchell. Some of you were in our first 6-month cohort. I welcome you back. You know how the sessions go, but welcome to the new people that have just joined us for the second half of this year's Solopreneurs Mastermind series. This half of the year is sponsored by Wintrust. So they kindly gave us some funding so that we can offer this Solopreneurs Mastermind series. So welcome to everyone. We are, as a team, going to give you our guidance and leadership. My name is Maura Mitchell, as I said. We will have Felicitas Cortez and Yesenia Valencia and Jesse Leonard. They will also be here hosting at certain times. I'm not sure who is here. Let's see. I know that Felicitas was late because of power outages. Yes, I don't see Yesenia either. So I will go ahead and keep going, but know that we have a team. You have a team behind you. And so if you do have any questions, please take advantage of our one-on-one advising sessions or use these email addresses to reach out to us. So everyone knows how to use Zoom, I expect, because of all of the time we've spent on Zoom. But if not, remember that the chat button is at the bottom window or top window, wherever your window is. And you can just send in questions there. We will have a subject matter expert today talk about personal branding and using LinkedIn. So she'll let us know how she would prefer to be to have questions asked of her. So today's agenda is to make introductions. We're going to answer the question, what is a mastermind series? Discuss personal branding with a subject matter expert. And then we will set an attainable goal for next month in regards to personal branding. So what we have here is a 6-month program. We had you set a 6-month goal in your application, and we'll talk about that goal all along the way. And then within each session, we're going to have you set a goal for the next month to then discuss your progress on that, meeting that goal in next month's session. So you'll talk about personal branding today with a subject matter expert. You'll set a goal around personal branding and then discuss it next month. So I just want to introduce the WBDC. A number of you probably already know what we do, so I will go quickly through this. But we ignite small business services, and we do that through access to connections, access to capital, and access to contracts. So my team is in the access to connections. I'm the managing director of Entrepreneurial Services Division 2. And we offer one-on-one advising. We offer cohorts like this. We also have a plan for profit program. And we have almost twice a month, we offer webinars on different topics. We are having a marketing webinar come up in August on using Google Analytics 4. So just go to our website and watch for any opportunities. We do our access to connections by offering the one-on-one business advice. We offer assistance with accessing corporate, government, and exporting contracts. My team kind of does the beginning parts of that. And then we will funnel you off to our experts here at the Women's Business Development Center. So we have a team of experts that know how to get you corporate contracts, government contracts. And we have an international trade center that will help with exporting contracts. We assist with the development of business plans. I don't really work on business plans as often as I work on business model canvases. I feel like business plans aren't as useful until you need funding. Assistance with financial analysis and planning. I love to help with projections. I am a numbers person, so that's my forte. Marketing is not. So we all have to know our strengths and weaknesses. We help with technology and entrepreneurial development, help with accessing market information and the development of marketing plans. Last week I helped someone find an outline for it was a contract for client work. So a services agreement. So I am a lawyer, but I cannot practice law here, but I can give outlines and give information. Access to business education and training opportunities. We already talked about that. And then we have a team of former bankers and financial analysts who help with access to capital. We can help you with your credit score, give you steps to improve that. We can help you discover banks that would be better for a solopreneur. And then we also help with Kiva, which is a lending platform with 0% interest. It's a crowd lending platform. So you can check out our access to capital team on our website. Then we offer 3 types of contracts, assistance with 3 types of contracts. We have government contracts and corporate contracts and exporting contracts. And again, we know the beginning steps, and then we'll funnel you to our team of experts in each of those 3 areas. Any questions about what the Women's Business Development Center does? Okay. Well, I am going to have you, let's see, I have a timing down here. We have about 20 minutes to get through all of the introductions. So I would love for you, I'm going to stop sharing here. I would love for you each to be able to say your name, your business name, and then the problem your business solves. So we always like to think about a problem that we can solve in the marketplace when we're starting up our business. And yesterday, I came upon this quote that said, in addition to solving a problem, you really want to find a passion that ignites your spirit, because the world needs more people that are alive and more people that are, working on their passion and passionate about life. So think about solving a problem and also doing it passionately. Hopefully you're in a industry that really excites you, because as you know, this job is 24/7. So I'm going to go around the room and just call you by first name. And then if you could just explain, in 20 seconds, what your business does, what the problem it solves is. Anna, do you have a question? Oh, you want to go first? Okay, Anna, you can go first. Now we can't, you're on mute, so make sure you're off mute. Okay.
There you go. Sorry about that. And I am volunteering to go first because I am going to be driving my son to school in a few minutes. So I'll be off camera, but listening in. But hi, everybody. My name is Anna Gonzalez. My business has not launched yet. And so I'd love to get feedback eventually on my ideas for 2 different names. I'm getting my certificate in coaching, in particular, integrative health coaching. So 2 of my ideas is full well-being, with full spelled as FUL, a play on mindful, or mind fuel, also a play on mindful. The area that I want to focus on is stress, burnout, and career planning. And so that's where I'm at this point. So happy to join everyone.
Welcome. So I'm just going to call you out. Jill, could you go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jill. I am a pediatric speech pathologist, and I actually work full-time at a hospital, but I'm hoping to grow my private practice. So I applied for doing business as under the name Listen and Learn Speech Therapy. And I recently went through a 5-year cohort and program to become a certified listening and spoken language specialist and auditory verbal therapist. So I work with children with cochlear implants and hearing loss, but more importantly, I work with the families and really coach them and empower them. So that's where my passion has evolved, is not just sitting and doing a therapy session, but really the familial aspect and like what Anna was just saying, I'm very interested in the coaching piece and taking my own life coaching and therapy background to help parents who are overcoming their grief of a diagnosis for their child and just really being there for them. And I do teletherapy services. So my passion and business growth is to reach more people throughout the state and maybe across state lines. So
thank you. Rita?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rita Chen, and I recently launched my own marketing consulting firm, and it's called Rita Chen Consulting. And the problem I seek to solve, this is actually in draft mode, Mara, and I just talked about it maybe about a week ago, but I specialize in the tourism and hospitality industries. My most recent career was actually through Choose Chicago, the tourism bureau for the city of Chicago. So marketing Chicago to the world. And the problem I seek to solve is that with shrinking budgets, presenting significant challenges for many organizations in the tourism and hospitality worlds, they must prioritize strategic marketing to ensure long-term growth. And so that is really my area of specialty, is marketing research, strategy, and planning. I'm super passionate about it. I love this industry. There's so much vibrancy around it. And I love just walking around, our city, our lovely city, and just showcasing it to the world. Thank you.
Thank you. We can see your passion. Chicago is so gorgeous. I work on Michigan Avenue, and every day I feel so blessed to be living in this city. So Kimberly, do you want to go next? And then LaShawn, you're next.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So my name is Kimberly Fry, and I have Kimberly Fry Consulting. I am a coach and a consultant, and I really seek to help others kind of live their best lives while also working to make the world, the business world, a more inclusive place. So I started out as a former special education teacher for over 20 years, left full-time teaching last year to focus on my business full-time. I do life coaching for individuals. I have a lot of clients who are neurodivergent, but I don't only have neurodivergent clients, but that tends to be the draw there. And I think a lot of that's just my background for being a special education teacher. And I do business consulting, so in that diversity, equity, inclusivity space. However, my specific area of focus is non-visible disability access. So how are we making our workplaces more accessible and inclusive for people who are neurodivergent? They have autism or ADHD, they might have a learning disability or a mental health diagnosis, because that was truly my jam when I was a teacher. That's the majority of the students that I taught. And so really taking my passion for helping my students reach their goals, and now I'm helping grown adults in that same space reach their goals. And I used to fight to make schools inclusive, and now we're working to make businesses inclusive. And I also do special education advocacy for families. So if I am still involved in the Chicago Public Schools, and that's a beast to navigate when you're trying to get services. And so I can help families with that.
Fantastic. LaShawn, and then Anna.
Good morning, everyone. My name is LaShawn Kelly. I don't have a business name at this point, still grooming it. My most recent position was interim executive director for the Garfield Park Right to Wellness Collaborative, and I am a collaborator. So the problem I like to solve is bridging the gap between smaller grassroots businesses and our standard go-to who gets all the money, and teach them how to collaborate the funding so that we continue to grow smaller business, which are impacting individuals more than bigger corporations like Red Cross. They're down home grassroots. So that's kind of where I'm gearing towards, but I've got a lot of ideas on my mind. So
Thank you. Anna Martinez?
Hi guys, my name is Anna. So I started my own company, Anna's Custom Treats, in 2020. And what I do is I make gourmet treats for really any occasion. But my main job is I work for a video gaming company like slot machines, ATMs, which I love too because I get to work with software technicians and all types of stuff. Really what I want to evolve Anna's Custom Treats to is kind of like a place where I can bring like younger women together and have like I don't know events to kind of um bridge them with other role models to get them to be like the dream girl that they want to be because I've had the honor of working with so many amazing women. So that's really what I've used it for is to just kind of show that you could have a dream and you can build towards it and also build yourself. So it's kind of different, but I'm really grateful with what it started with and what it's become.
Thank you so much. And yes, I always advise people start out while you are working full time. If you can do that, if you can spend a few hours a day starting your solopreneurship, sometimes that's the best way to do it. So you can ensure you have some funding, some income coming in while you're building your idea. Thank you. So Leah, and then Dianella, I'll just have you introduce yourself after Leah.
Hey y'all, my name is Leah. I have Cookies and Conversations. I've been in business since 2019. I opened a brick and mortar, which I closed last year, and I am seeking a different direction. Cookies and Conversation is gourmet cookies and trying to bring people together within that sense of cookies. So the next direction that I am moving into right now is actually creating events where cookies are the prizes. I'm currently building out a idea where I host singles mixers at Nobody's Darling Bar, and it's called Kinky Bingo. So I actually have a whole bingo card situation going, and it's a mingler. It's a mixer, and it's a way to kind of force people out of their comfort zones to talk to others, and they win cookies as prizes. So I still get to do my cookies while also spearheading, bringing people together, and that's the problem I'm trying to solve: is how do we get back to talking to each other. Technology is amazing, but sometimes we miss those connections when we are always on technology. So
yes.
Yeah.
So you and Anna may have something to talk about.
Yes, absolutely. I was like, oh, I'm gonna write her down right now.
Okay, Dianella and then Michelle.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Hi, I'm Dianella. I'm a rising junior at Boston University studying economics. I'm interning here at WBDC for the summer, and I love all of your business ideas.
Yes, so thank you, Dianella. She's helping us for 7 weeks and has been a great asset to the team. Michelle and then Nina.
Hi, ladies. My name is Michelle Velasquez. I am a financial coach. I started my own business, Virtuous Wealth Building, about 2.5 years ago. A year ago, I left my 9-to-5 law enforcement job after 16 years to grow the coaching business. I started with doing one-on-one coaching, and then I had to add business coaching because I had a lot of women who had small businesses. So I pivoted into that. Prior to the coaching business, though, I was in law enforcement under workforce and development. So employer wellness is really where I'm pivoting a little bit more in this season. of really bringing my experience of training and development in groups into now the workplace, where there's such a need of financial wellness. And I help people, and the goal is to help people build wealth through real estate. I am a real estate investor. My husband and I own over 40 doors. I have multiple Airbnbs. And so that's what I know. And so I feel like that's a way for people to build wealth.
Great. Thank you. Nina?
Yes, good morning. My name is Nina Tanay, and my business is called Contagious Transformation, which I started full-time in January of 2020. And what we do here is we help work with entrepreneurs, medical doctors, and executives on how to build mental portfolios. Our minds are our greatest assets, and a lot of times we put a lot of stock on a lot of things that are depreciating, where our minds are actually appreciating. So I help build out a maintenance plan for the mind for a lot of high level, high stress individuals to navigate the highs and lows of life, because a lot of times our minds are the last thing we're thinking about protecting. So mental portfolios is something we really do to stockpile, to navigate all that life offers us. But also, just like people have a financial portfolio, you should have a mental portfolio. And that's what I do here at Contagious Transformation.
Thank you very much. Yesenia, can you just introduce yourself? I mentioned that you were one of our team members and that you would be available for one-on-one advising, but why don't you just tell us a little bit more? Thank you.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I do apologize. There was, due to the weather, the traffic, the lights were not working. So there was a big line of cars just trying to pass through the street. So I do apologize for being a little late. As Maura mentioned, my name is Yesenia. I am part of the Entrepreneurial Programs team here with the SBDC at the WBDC. I am in Little Village, and I do provide one-on-one business advising in English and Spanish. So if you guys know anyone around the area or even in the Chicagoland area that would like to have a free consultation, please feel free to let them know about us. We have great services. I also hold an MBA from the Brennan School of Business at Dominican University, and I am pleased to be here and welcome everyone.
Thank you. Okay, Shayna and then Nicole.
Shauna,
sorry.
That's all right, Maureen. Hello, everyone. My name is Shauna O'Connors. My name, the company, let me start over again. My company name is Disrupt the Impossible, and I feel like Disrupt the Impossible is a mantra. So we believe in you can disrupt whatever you think is impossible, which is consulting, coaching, and meditation. And so what we solve here is, well, let me give you a little background about me. I've been in the corporate world for over 20 years. I have been a leadership and engagement coach in the corporate world. And I started my business in 2020 during the pandemic. So I also certified life coach and everything disc practitioner and meditation practitioner. So I bring everything in with a holistic spin. So what we do is help people break through barriers, transformation, more on all different forms of coaching. And one thing I believe in is that nothing is impossible, as you can see with the name. So that's what my business is, more on breaking barriers. But we also work with corporations doing assessments and facilitation as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. Nicole and then Tyshun.
Hi, I'm Nicole Rabideau. My business is called Through the Woods Therapy and Wellness. I am a licensed clinical professional counselor in private practice. And the problem, we're in the western suburbs. The problem that I'm hoping to solve is to provide a comfortable and inclusive, accessible space for mental health care.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Tyshawn Wortlaw, and I own a boutique television and film production company with an office in Chicago and in Milwaukee. And we solve two problems. One with our department and our film division, that we are creating diverse narratives to get them out to national and international platforms. And then we have our branded marketing department that focuses on short form videos for large corporations and larger nonprofits to be able to provide branded marketing content to resonate emotionally and connect with their clients and or campaigns.
Thank you. Delilah and then Sunny.
Hi, good morning. My name is Delilah Ortiz. My business name is called Selah Therapy. So similar to Nicole, I'm in private practice and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And so the problem that I'm aiming to solve at this time is creating safe spaces for people of color to be able to come to therapy and to break down those social, cultural stigmas around therapy so that they feel that it is a space that they can embrace as well. And the other problem that I'm aiming to solve is providing therapy services specifically to police wives and police families, because I think that it's an underserved population. And we often look at the officers or our first responders, but we often overlook their families and the needs that they also have in being a support to the officers and to our first responders of whatever nature they might be. So that's something that I'm really trying to embrace in Selah Therapy, is creating that safe space for people of color, but also people in our first responder community.
You might want to speak with Michelle. Okay, Sunny and then Alberta.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sun-Hee Yoon. My company, Sage Lifestyle Concierge, helps older adults and families navigating all these services, including financial, legal, real estate, downsizing, care coordinations, and moving into senior living. I'm a caregiver myself. This is my second year going on in my company. What I really try to solve in the senior living or older adults and caregiving industry is that lack of agency, lack of coordinations, and lack of informations. And so in doing so, I have created on the side, knowing that we don't have enough languages or informations available or how to connect them. I'm a creator of charting your courses at the Union League Club. I'm a member there, monthly education program. And then I invite experts on different sectors and then coming out and then 10, it's panel discussions and giving the older adults and the families getting informed so that they can make an informed decisions moving forward. And those are very important decisions for their loved ones and also caring for their loved ones. We want to have earlier, having open discussion is so much needed. And that's what I do. I facilitate and I connect and I collaborate. And then I am a board member here in Oak Park River Forest Chamber of Commerce, as well as in Arbor West Neighbors, which is an older adults group. I'm very active in networking and in connecting with other solopreneurs like yourselves. Thank you, Maura, for choosing me again for this round.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, now let's see. The screen moved. Alberta, and then Jolene.
Thank you. Thank you, Maura. Yes, I too am part of the second round. So I do see some familiar faces, but I am Alberta Johnson, and I am the founder and CEO of People Experts LLC. So we are a professional services consulting firm that focuses on human resources and diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting. We typically work with small to mid-sized firms that don't necessarily have an HR department or a staff member dedicated to their HR services. So we provide outsourced day-to-day services as well as strategic planning, leadership development, and we also work with larger corporate companies on complex projects like compensation and benefits. And then I also do speaking engagements and thought leadership presentations that center around employee engagement and diversity and just being an HR leader in various spaces. So I spent 10 years in government and left my full-time role in the beginning of 2023, but I started my business in 2021. So there was a bit of a delay between actually fully immersing myself in the business and leaving a full-time role. But also just stay very active in the HR industry and HR space. I have been part of the board of directors for the Society for Human Resource Management for their Chicago chapter, as well as their state council. And I'm currently a member of their executive network. So currently looking to kind of partner with other companies to grow my company and hire staff. So that's what's next on my list, but have been a part of the WBDC first portion of the Solopreneurs program, as well as the Scale Up program.
Thank you. Jolene, and then Princess.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jolene Saul. My company is Revolve Community Development. It's a consulting firm focused on mission-driven real estate, specifically affordable housing and community development. Usually all of my projects include some component of public financing. So I assist organizations in a few ways. It could be assembling the capital stack or the financing for their projects, managing the overall development process, or I also do some program design work for clients. So, and this is I was in the prior round, so I'm happy to be back.
Thank you. Princess, and then Tanya.
Hi, I'm Princess Crumpton, and my business is Princess Crumpton Studio. So I provide apparel solutions to brands as well as individuals, B2B as well as B2C. I relocated to Chicago a little over a year ago from New York, and I have 13 years of experience of working across the apparel industry in New York. And throughout that time, I did a lot of freelance on the side, providing technical packs, consulting for production management for smaller brands, doing custom bridal and evening wear. Now that I'm here, I am looking to transition to like full scale launch. It's a bit of a different market than New York, so I'm expanding upon my services. For B2B, I offer basically kind of like virtual departments. Like if you can't afford to have to hire a full staff, and you need assistance with someone that can handle all of the technical aspects of your garments with factories, and that's what I offer, that option. I also offer merchandising options to small boutiques, as well as launching e-commerce sites for small boutiques and site merchandising services. And then to like B2C, I do a lot of work with like students. So for students who are looking to like graduate from design programs and move to bigger cities like New York and LA, I do portfolio coaching. I do one-on-one sessions for like additional like technical skills, pattern making skills, to give them more skills that they would find at the to compete with the students that are coming from those schools in those big cities.
Great.
So you. That's what I do, and I'm currently sole proprietorship, but I am looking to, I think, change it to LLC or an S corp. I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to figure out what makes the most sense, and I really need some help with the branding part and like streamlining my messages, because I do like a lot. I cover a lot of ground. I think that I don't really have like a clear way of presenting that, as at least not as clear as I would like. So
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And Tanya, I think you are the last one to go, so welcome.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Tanya. My business is called Tanya U Coaching. I am a career coach. I coach full-time for a nonprofit. Well, I'm in Chicago, obviously, but it's a national nonprofit. But I also take clients in my business that I started about 3 years ago. I focus on women who are disengaged in their career. So they're either overwhelmed or underutilized. And so the end result is the same. Just want to increase their engagement and help them to have an improved workplace experience. I create content on this topic. So I've been doing that for a couple years now. Have over 130,000 followers, so I know that it's an issue. People can connect with a lot of the topics. I take one-on-one clients, but I'm trying to phase out of that because I coach all day, every day. So there's burnout coming for me, but I still want to have an impact. So working on other ways to connect, doing some group coaching, possibly a membership. I also do speaking opportunities, and I'm currently on submission right now for with a book proposal, which is probably the most excruciating experience of my life. Having these editors look at what I'm trying to do. So yes, I'm happy to be here and really take my business, grow it, and also take it in a little bit of a different direction.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to put you in groups in breakout rooms so you can get to know each other further, because the purpose of this mastermind session is for you to thrive by learning from one another, because you're all at different stages of your journey. You all have different strengths, different weaknesses. And I'm hoping by getting to know other people in this group, you will grow and flourish. So I'm going to put you in groups of 3 or 4. We do have a subject matter expert coming in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to let you go in for 7 minutes. So 9:45, we'll meet back here, but just go into your room with 3 or 4 people, introduce yourself, talk a little bit more. Maybe if you could discuss your SMART goal for your 6 months in this program, if you could tell one another that, so you kind of have an accountability partner here. And I'll keep the same group for the second breakout session. So you'll get to know people along the journey here. Any questions? Okay, 9:45, we'll meet back here. I'll give you some warning before I close the rooms. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. People are in breakout rooms just for another 2 more minutes.
Okay.
And then we will be ready to come back and listen to Madeline. Madeline's going to be here?
Yes, she will be joining shortly.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hi, Dianella. Everyone's in a breakout room. They're coming back in about 1 minute.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So now, Amanda, I have a introduction or a bio for Madeline, but I don't have one for you. Will you be presenting, or do you just want to?
No, I mean, this is really Madeline's presentation. I'm kind of here just to support and possibly take some screenshots for her as she's talking, but otherwise, no need to do an introduction for me. Madeline's
Okay.
okay
Great.
for that. Yeah. Thank you, though.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to close these rooms so people will be coming back. Then I'll just give them like a 2-minute coffee break. So until Madeline gets here.
Great. I just messaged her to make sure she has the link.
Okay, great. Okay, welcome back. I know that probably was not enough time. It never is. I think I could keep people in breakout sessions for the whole 2 hours and people would love that. Maybe we should do that sometime. But I'm going to let you go for a 2-minute bio break. So get your coffee, go to the bathroom, because we have our subject matter expert coming. We have Amanda here from the company, and we're waiting for Madeline to come. They both are from the company Be the Brand. So go get your coffee and use the bathroom and be back in 2 minutes. How's that? Hi, Madeline. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm great. How are y'all?
Good. So I just let people go for a 2-minute bathroom break because they had been holding it for 45 minutes. So we'd let them go and they'll be back soon. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited for your presentation. I will introduce you when the crowd comes back in 1 minute. And then I will let you share your screen and take over until 10:30.
Okay, that's great. And Mara, do you mind just rooting me in like what you guys have talked about this morning and anything that might be helpful for me as I dive in?
So today is our first day together with this group of solopreneurs. Everyone is a solopreneur working on their business alone. Some have not yet started, but they're pretty far along the journey. And this morning we just introduced one another and they were just in breakout rooms. This is a mastermind series that lasts 6 months. We have 6 monthly sessions and they've set 6-month SMART goals. So we talked about their SMART goals, but we're also going to have monthly goals. And so this month, since you'll be talking about personal branding, they're going to set an attainable goal for the next month. And then when we meet next month, that's the first thing we'll talk about is their success at meeting the goal that they set. So they learn how to set goals that are, that work and aren't too far reaching. But everyone here is a solopreneur. That we have a lot of people that are coaches and therapists.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so is everyone back? If you could show your faces, please. We'd love to see faces. And welcome, Felicitas. I know we had horrible weather here last night. I know you two are from, Amanda and Madeline, you're from Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
We had tornadoes here. So
where are you?
We're in Chicago. So
okay.
Yeah. So there were tornadoes and power outages. So Felicitas, if you want to just do a quick introduction, because I mentioned you at the beginning as one of our one-on-one advisors.
Yes, well, good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry I'm late. Power's out in various places of the Southland, but I am here joining everyone. My name is Felicitas Cortez, and I'm a director for the Illinois Small Business Development Center at the Women's Business Development Center. I'm also on Maura's team, Entrepreneurial Services Team 2. I'm based in Richton Park, Illinois, one of the satellite offices, and I love to advise entrepreneurs in all phases of their business journey. I like to meet clients one-on-one via phone, Zoom, or in person.
Thank you. So we have Madeline here with us. She's our subject matter expert on personal branding. I'm going to give her a short intro and then let her get started. So Madeline is a partnership builder, a creative storyteller, a strategic thinker, and a champion for women's leadership. Woohoo! We each have a voice and a story to tell, she believes, and she believes it's up to us to choose how we use it. She, at Be the Brand, helps individuals find success building their professional brand on LinkedIn. So that's interesting. She partners with individuals to help amplify their own thought leadership and build purposeful and powerful online brands. She loves the creativity, passion, and collaboration that comes from building new partnerships, working to solve problems, and championing people and ideas. She appreciates the innovation, that innovation comes from looking at things from a different perspective. She loves the hustle of being an entrepreneur, while she also strives every day to show up in her personal life as a person full of compassion, energy, and confidence. Oh, I love that. I was just saying to everyone at the beginning that we want to make sure our company is solving a problem, but we also want to make sure that we're more alive in doing it. So we have our compassion and our love emanating from us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so welcome. I will let you get started. I think you can share your screen. Yes, so go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me today. Really, always happy to be in a room full of women, especially happy to be in a room full of entrepreneurs. So just want to say congratulations to you guys for taking the leap and hanging your own shingle, as they say. So I guess just a little bit about me. So my first chapter of my career was in nonprofit fundraising. And then about 5 years ago, I started Be the Brand as a side hustle. I'm assuming most of you guys have a side hustle, or your business is your side hustle, or it was your side hustle at some point, or you have a former side hustle or something. So I ran it as a side hustle for 3 years. And then about 2.5 years ago, I quit my full-time job, went into Be the Brand full-time. And then since then, we've grown to be about a team of 6. And so as we grow and evolve, obviously, as the founder of it, my role, I have to do the hard work of making my role change. And one of the things I've really leaned on throughout all of that is my personal brand. So not only do I feel like personal branding, it's like my expertise, so it's what I'm like selling people, but it's also something that I really utilize in my own life as a person and as a business owner. So I think, as you guys know, like, your brand is everything. When you're a business owner, depending on what you're selling, if you're selling yourself, if you're selling your services, if you're selling your experience, it's really important and can be such an incredible force multiplier when you get your messaging right. And so personal branding is just a key step in that. So really excited to be talking to you guys today. The only other thing I'll say about myself is that the whole point of the business from the very beginning was because I believe in the power of women's voices. And I think the more women speaking in the public space, the better. And so the whole business is really about partnering with amazing women to help them learn how to show up online. And so that's really kind of one of our main values is women's leadership. Okay, I'm going to dive in. I do have a presentation. Going to walk through. If you have a pen and a pad of paper, get it out. We really love to make sure everything we do is really high impact. Whenever we get in a room with professionals, particularly entrepreneurs, we want the next 45 minutes to really be like you walk away with some good tools, some good insights, really having started the work. And so if you have pen and paper, get that out. I'm going to walk us through. This is an interactive exercise. So I'll talk a little bit, give some instruction, and then you guys can take a couple of minutes to write down like a couple of goals or write down a couple keywords for your brand. I'll walk us through all of this. And then if anybody's willing, we have space for some sharing as well. So it's a very interactive session, and we'll have a couple minutes at the end for some questions as well. So I'm going to dive in. All right. Okay. So we're going to talk about a framework and a structure to help you think about how you bring strategy and intention to your personal brand. I've talked a little bit about our philosophy and approach, but I think we all know now, like your personal brand, thought leadership, how you show up, what you say, your messaging. It's a really smart tool, especially as you're, selling yourself or selling your services as an entrepreneur or selling your products. The thought leadership can really like break through noise. It can really attract the right kinds of customers. And it's an opportunity for you to really share yourself with the world in a way that feels elevated and professional. So a lot of the work that we do really lands on LinkedIn. So we don't really work with people to become like influencers on TikTok or Instagram. Instead, we're really working with executives to help them hone and understand their voice on LinkedIn. Personal branding and digital branding can really be a force multiplier for you, the things you represent, your company, your business. We know that messages that are put out by individuals versus companies or versus brands are about 80% more effective. It lands differently when it's coming from a leader or from, just a normal person versus if it's coming from a brand. So thinking strategically, and you'll see this, like if you look at marketing budgets and Fortune 500s and things like that, they're really leaning into building up executive voice and executive presence. And that's because they know it cuts through the noise differently to help their company reputation. Like I said, we're not going viral. We're not building influencers. That is not our specific zone of genius, but what we are doing is bringing intention. So the work of personal branding is really about sitting with yourself, knowing who you are, identifying those core characteristics about you that make you you, that set you apart, and then figuring out how to emphasize those things again and again and again. So we're really bringing intention to the work. And then the last thing I'll say is about being multidimensional. So one of our big sticking points is we really believe in the power of human connection and the way we show up as people and how that can also show up as how we are as professionals and as business owners and entrepreneurs. So we like to always leave space to consider, are there things about you as a person that you would be willing to share in the public square as well? So for me, the example I give is I have small children. So I'm a working parent. And I don't really share photos. I don't share much about my kids, but I do talk about things related to that, like parental leave, work-life balance, working parenthood, because those things are important to me. It's part of who I am. So I'm happy to kind of engage in those kinds of dialogues online. When we're thinking about personal branding and how it comes to life, really, we have to start at the beginning, like we all do for all things, which is about just getting clear on the goals and the why. This is going to be the first interactive session for you guys. So you know, I think thinking about, like, if you're just starting at the beginning and you're thinking about your personal brand, if you're thinking about your LinkedIn, I would encourage everybody to take a minute to really think about maybe 1 or 2 short-term goals and 1 or 2 long-term goals. A short-term goal can be something like update my LinkedIn profile. When was the last time I got a headshot? Do I have a LinkedIn banner? You know, those types of things. So really thinking through, like, what does the actual profile look like and how can I carve out 30 minutes to make it look like a better representation of who I am? Long-term goals can be things like, I want to engage, like I want to post on LinkedIn twice a week, or I want to dedicate 15 minutes a day to the platform, a combination of posting and interacting on the platform. It can also be things like, I really want to identify and hone my brand voice, my thought leadership. So maybe a short-term goal is taking an hour coming off of this workshop and using this as the springboard to really carve out the time to say, okay, what are my areas of expertise that I want to have thought leadership around? And really starting to put together the goals of showing up in the space and doing the work of personal branding. And then, of course, thinking about the outcomes that you want. So for me, personal branding is all about building connection. It's definitely about business development. So a lot of my goals for LinkedIn is about driving eyeballs to be the brand. And it's also about sharing, you know, like adding value to my audience, sharing content, tips and tricks. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll kind of see those things coming to life. And that's because those are my goals. That's what I'm hoping to achieve through my LinkedIn. So here are some examples over here. And what we'll do is we'll take about 2 minutes. I'm going to set a timer. We're going to take 2 minutes, and I'd love for you guys to kind of jot down, you know, a couple of your goals for this work. And I'm happy during the 2 minutes, I'm happy to answer some questions if you guys have questions about that. And then after the 2 minutes, I'm going to stop my screen share and we're going to come back together and ask a couple people to share any of the goals that they wrote down. That sound good? Great. Okay, timer starting. Okay. Does anybody want to share some of the goals they wrote down?
I can share because I love this LinkedIn. I just it's something that I wanted to pivot into. So I'm excited about your class. So thank you.
Amazing.
Some short term is that like you said, the new banner, I want, because I'm pivoting from I'm a financial coach, from coaching one-on-one to small business into pivoting into employer wellness. I wanted to start pivoting everything, because on LinkedIn, you still see my one-on-one coaching. And so that's really a space for the employer. So that's some of my short-term is to change that. Some of my long-term goals is that I would love to connect more, because I'm moving into that space. And on LinkedIn, people expect it to be a business connection, to set aside 15 minutes to make, I created a coffee chat, like on Calendly. So if I want to do like these virtual coffee chats with people on a business, so to be able to take 15 minutes and just set a couple of DMs and connect with people on the short term. And also, I would love to have 3 new employer wellness clients before the end of the class.
Great. So using it as a tool for business development. And maybe you could even talk about, like, develop a series of content where you like talk about your work, the specifics, what you do, client success, social proof, like that kind of stuff to drive business development. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great. Great. Anybody else?
I would say that I am a pediatric speech pathologist, that I didn't have a LinkedIn as of 2 months ago, because I've been long-term in my previous or current positions, and I just didn't think you really needed it in my profession. And now that I'm shifting to solopreneur, my page, like, I'm literally thinking she would be mortified if she looked at my page, because it's just like my headshot's bad, the details are,
yes.
and I shouldn't say bad, it's a starting point. Like, that's why I was like, I just have to get something up there. But I'm so excited about the idea of, I just wrote down, like, it should represent my brand. I'm so proud of who I am in my career and what I can do. Like, my page does not remotely reflect that passion or my brand. So I'm excited to just shift it to something that exudes confidence and interest in growth. And yeah, it's just, I have a long ways to go, so I'm excited to hear.
I think so. My sister-in-law is an SLP, and we've talked a lot about being a practitioner. Like, how do you go from being a practitioner? Like, what does LinkedIn do for you, basically?
Yeah.
So one of the things, Jill, you could think about is, even since you're starting, like, at the starting point, you have a fresh canvas. And so even if you make it a goal to be like, I'm going to do something thoughtful that I'm proud of, that represents me well, once a month on LinkedIn, just once a month, a really good piece of content. And then in 6 months, or twice a month, if you have the capacity and you have the ideas, but you don't have to necessarily go from like nothing to like 2 times a week. Like, that's a lot. That's a heavy lift. And perhaps, you don't need it to build up that like steady drumbeat of credibility, the thoughtfulness to help shape the brand. Like, I would say, just make it a goal 1 or 2 times a month to do something that's really thoughtful on your page. And that would be perfect. And get it in order, which could that would probably only take like an hour of your time, so.
And I think my fear too was like, and this is, I don't know if anyone is as inexperienced as me, but I know, like, people see that you have viewed their profile. So I like literally haven't even viewed people's profiles, because I'm like anxious about like my full-time career and my private practice, but I know I'm not doing anything wrong, because, so there's also this, I know someone else was just saying about like her employer. It's like, so I wonder if there's any tips for navigating that. Like, I see all these people from my hospital system that are coming up as like suggested follows, but I'm like, but I want to lean in more towards my private side. So private practice side. I don't know if you have tips for that too,
So
or if that applies to anyone
do
else.
you, I guess the first thing, I mean, personal branding in LinkedIn is always an exercise in emotional intelligence, like always, and there's all kinds of dynamics, like you're saying, with employers that you have to be very cognizant of. So what I always say, it sounds like you've already done this, is like, do you have the green light to be doing this work? Right?
Yeah. I mean, when I started with the company, I was already in a private practice position. So they knew all along.
Yeah. Then I think, like, if you have the green light and you're doing positive types of content that are about the private practice, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. It's an exercise in stepping out, you know, like it's an exercise in like being seen for what you want to be seen for controlling the narrative of the life and the work you want to have, you know, so like it takes that courage to do that. But to me, it sounds like you have the green light. You don't have to accept those connections if you don't want to. The reality on LinkedIn is that anybody can follow you at any time. So the stuff you do, you can change the settings in your privacy to make that like if you don't want anybody seeing your stuff except for only the people you're connected to, which you can control, you can change your privacy settings to reflect that. If you're okay with anybody seeing it, then anybody will be able to see it because there's a follow function on LinkedIn now that's kind of ubiquitous, like across the board. And so anybody can, you used to kind of have to turn on a setting that would allow people to follow you, but now they've changed it so that that's just like happening automatically. So if you're concerned about people you're like anybody in the world seeing your content, then update it in your settings and just control who you're connected to. But I would encourage you, like if this, the point of the LinkedIn and the personal brand is to point in the direction that you're headed in. So like if you're trying to build up a bunch of business over here and make a pivot, you should point your LinkedIn in that direction and just do it, you know, and just see what happens. Do the post, see what kind of feedback you get, you know, do another one 3 weeks later, see what happens, you know, and just kind of take it that way.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Shayna, what's going on with you?
Hi, it's Shauna. But
Shauna.
I'm freezing a little bit, so just bear with me, hopefully. I have a LinkedIn profile myself from the corporate world, but I also created one for my business. And so when I post on my business LinkedIn, I also kind of copy it and post it on my personal side, and I'm trying to combine them. I started posting every single day for 30 days when I was in the mastermind earlier. So that was one of my goals to post, and that's what I did. But it doesn't seem like no matter how, I mean, I gained a follower probably once a month, but I'm trying to see what can I do more in order to bring more individuals in or more corporations, because I do have I have a corporate contract and I've been with this company for a while, and I post that information as well, but I want to bring in more corporate business, and I'm trying to think how can I do that? I am a coach, coach and consultant in meditation. So it's more on the holistic side.
Yeah.
And I bring that into my facilitation. So I'm also an everything DISC practitioner. So I do assessments and facilitations for corporations.
So what I would do if I was you is if you're doing a lot of posting and you're not seeing the traction that you want, I would say dial down on the posting and dial up on the engagement. So really find your tribe of people, find your corner of LinkedIn, other people in the wellness space, other people, other coaches on LinkedIn, you know, other people who are like, you know, in your little corner, and start interacting with their content. They love it. It's good for them. So they're going to interact back with you, and it's going to be good for you. That is like one of the best strategies to increase your follower count, is to spend more time actually engaging on the platform with your group of people. You know, find your people. It's almost like find your people, love them well kind of thing. It's like that kind of philosophy. So I would encourage you to try that. Try it for 30 days and see what happens. You know, just like you did with the mastermind, like dial back to posting twice a week, 3 times if it's something amazing. Make sure you get your visuals right. Like it should always have, you know, like a compelling visual, something interesting. You have to think about the scroll factor. People are scrolling, so something that grabs them. And then, but spend more time kind of engaging on the platform.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and Amanda's right. Follow us, and everybody go follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn, because we talk about this a ton. One of my goals for LinkedIn and my values is like, I want our channels to be like a place for free content. So I actually do a lot of free, a lot of free advice and giving on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Madeline, I just wanted to say that we have a guest in the room, Mike McCracken, but Mike, I wanted to introduce you after Madeline is done. Mike is representing Wintrust, which is our sponsor for this Solopreneur Mastermind session. So I just wanted to let you know that he isn't a stranger. He
Awesome.
is the next, he's going to talk about the bank services after Madeline's done at 10:30.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
Okay. Going back. So we have our goals in place, which is great. It's where we always want to start. And now I want to talk to you guys about this structure. So this is something we created at Be the Brand to help people get organized with thinking through their personal brand. So it's called a personal message house. It has 3 main parts to it. It has your brand purpose, which is not your elevator pitch. It's more like your mission statement, or like your 2 to 3 sentences about your brand, what you want to be known for. You have your brand pillars, which really ladder up to that brand purpose. And then you have your brand voice. So the work of personal branding, like I said, it's really about getting organized, thinking through who you are, what you want to emphasize, and bringing intention to the strategy. So if you think about a brand purpose, the goal for this would be, if somebody visits your LinkedIn, they would probably spend like a minute on your page. And so when they scroll through your LinkedIn and look at your content specifically, you want them to walk away with a pretty clear impression of who you are. Like, you want your messaging to be clear. So if you're posting about 100 different things, even if you're posting about 10 different things, it's going to be a very messy message. And it's just not going to make, like, you're not going to get that clarity of impression that you can have on LinkedIn. So we really want to kind of nail down, like, what is that brand purpose? The brand pillars are the types of content, they're the buckets of content that you can emphasize your brand. And then the brand voice is like, it's the fun part. It's like your tone. If you're really like witty and dry in real life, consider writing that way on LinkedIn. It's where we also get to think about, like, am I going to identify myself as like a woman business owner, or am I just going to call myself a business owner? So just kind of thinking through those kind of tone and identity things beforehand just really helps you not have to make that decision when you like go to do the LinkedIn post. So like, as an example, my brand purpose is like, Madeline Federley is the founder CEO of Be the Brand. She is an expert in thought leadership and LinkedIn, and she has a deep personal passion for women in leadership. So like, that's my brand purpose. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see I'm talking about Be the Brand. I'm talking about LinkedIn tips and tricks. I'm talking about personal branding, and I'm talking about women in leadership. Like, that's really it, but it has a very clear brand. So we have this exercise. Here are 2 examples of other kind of brand purposes. The work for you guys is to really just think about, like, writing down some keywords, thinking about, like, what would you want that impression to be? Like, what do you want people to walk away from when they visit your page? And then the real fun part is where we get to think about building brand pillars. And this is going to be part of another interaction for you guys. So with your goals in mind, as you're thinking through your brand purpose and what you want that impression to be, like the takeaway from your LinkedIn page, I want you to think about the brand pillars. They should be pretty, like, you should not have 10 brand pillars. Like, you should have like 4, maybe 5. Where you really get to identify, like, okay, I feel pretty confident that, in the span of a year, I can do maybe 24 LinkedIn posts and kind of rotate through these brand buckets to give the impression I want to give on LinkedIn. So it's almost like a grab bag where it's like, okay, it's been some time. I need to write something on LinkedIn. What can I talk about? The other thing to know is, like, anytime you're like doing something out and about that's professional related, like, that's a great opportunity. You don't have to always just write a bunch of original content. It can be like, you were on a panel, you did a podcast, you attended a community event that matters to you, you did like a team meeting, this mastermind, this is a great thing to post about. You should definitely be posting about this. So the things that you're doing, we call them like happenings, if they're professionally related and they're going to bolster your brand, post about them. You know, you don't always have to just write original content. So here are some examples. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes, and then we're going to write some down, and then I'd love for a couple people to share as well. So I'm going to set a timer. Okay. Does anybody want to share some of their goals, some of the ideas they have for how they can build the brand they want on their LinkedIn?
Hi. So I've been using LinkedIn for a while, and actually I kind of did a lot of your strategies and wasn't really picking up, so I don't think I was marketing it in the right way. But I like what you just said recently about like slow down and engage in your community. So I want to do that next time. But as far as my brand pillars, community connector, education and history. I love studying food and where it comes from. Desserts. I'm a pastry chef, so presenting those desserts on my page. Also engaging in deep discussions that are uncomfortable, because I like doing that as well, and helping to create and foster those opportunities. And then also I'm an event and network connector. That's the direction I'm going in with my business soon. So wanting to focus on those 5 pillars.
Okay. And so what in your business is it event planning or event management?
So I started off cookies and conversations. I had a physical brick and mortar, and I am moving now more into catering a little bit, but more so actually facilitating events where cookies are there, but actually networking, creating opportunities for people to network.
Okay, great. Yeah, definitely lean into the networking piece on LinkedIn for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Madeline, this is LaShawn Kelly. I don't have a real strategy, but I like what you said about your page being too busy and trying to cover too many topics. I dabble in a lot of fields, so your comments made me think about narrowing it down and not giving people too much and being intentional on where I want them to focus at when they're thinking about who is LaShawn Kelly and what does she have to offer. So I found that helpful, and that's what I'll be working on as we move forward.
That's great. Yeah, a lot of the work of personal branding is actually doing an audit on your professional life. You know, I mean, if everybody here is an entrepreneur, so I'm assuming this is like our 10th or 12th or 20th job, you know, we all know we can add value in all kinds of different ways. We know we can monetize our value, or else we wouldn't be entrepreneurs. And so I think auditing down what you can do and what you want people to know you for is like a really critical part of this work. So I love that, LaShawn. I think that's really smart. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about LinkedIn or strategies? Yes.
I had a question. You said to engage with people that are kind of like in our niche. So how do we do that? Because this is what I guess comes to my mind. Like as a therapist, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm following another therapist and just saying, hey, that's a great tip or tool, how is that then going to translate, I guess, to other customers or business or clients for myself, rather than just kind of bolstering up like, great job to what you're doing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you have to think of LinkedIn as an all tides rise platform. So it really is the way that the algorithm works is like if you are engaging with people, that feeds, that fuels LinkedIn, that fuels your relationship with LinkedIn, and it will feed it back to you. So like, first of all, if you're so say you find a coach who has, I mean, and I would be strategic, like find a coach who has 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, you know, like 15,000, somebody who has a lot of followers. Find those people and start engaging on their stuff. It's likely others will see your content. It'll pull your name into a wider net, a wider audience. Your name gets out there much more than if you're just siloed in your own space. And it will direct your comments and to other people who are also in that space. So you just have to think about it in terms of like it's community building and like an all tides rise kind of algorithm, so to speak, over on LinkedIn.
So I had two questions. The first one is, since I'm pivoting, do I make an announcement like, hey, I'm going from one-on-one coaching to moving to the employer space? Or do I just start shifting the content? So that's the first question. And then the second thing, I have a private Facebook community of over 800 women. And so now how do I make that transition, that shift where I don't want to leave them hanging, right? Where now I want to invest a little bit more time over here. Or should I just keep cultivating until I have the full, until I shift 100%, I guess.
So with making big pivots, so like, I guess from like my point of view of like be the brand, like if we were going to retire an arm of our service, I probably wouldn't announce that on LinkedIn because like you just never know. Like I might need to resurrect that arm of my service in 6 months because my new arm isn't working, you know? And so like if you have something that is successful, but you're retiring it, I would just quietly retire it and just start posting more content about the new vertical that you're building up and just generate a lot of excitement and energy, you know, around that. But keep that other one in your back pocket.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going from doing like 3 cohorts in a year to 1, where
Yeah.
I'm still going to keep things, but I'm just not going to be as much because I want to shift into this direction. So I'm not going to let it go all together, but that's not going to be the primary focus.
So I would just start talking about the new, you know, and if you want, you could say in the copy, like, you know, you could nod to the fact that like in previous years you've done 3, now you're really excited to be doing 1, you know, where we're gonna go even deeper together, you know, just make it really juicy for like why you're transitioning to only 1. But make the bulk of the messaging around like how you're so excited about the new kind of thing. So I think that that's a fine strategy. On LinkedIn, there are groups on LinkedIn, so you can rebuild like a community over on LinkedIn. They're definitely not as vibrant as what's going on Facebook. I mean, I would say you should just continue on Facebook and sell your services over on Facebook as well. You know, that, I mean, if you have a close community of 800 women like that, those to me really sound like they're going to be your primary audience. you could always let them know you're over on LinkedIn and you'd love for them to follow along over there as well. But you can post the same kind of content on both platforms.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we have 2 minutes before Mike's taking over. Talk about banking.
Yeah.
Any other personal branding questions or LinkedIn?
I struggle with photos.
Yeah.
I know I get a lot of follows with personal, photos of myself and a lot of connections. I'm trying to post every day. I'm taking a class called Recognized Experts, and they suggest we try posting every day. And I'm actually telling my grief journey. I lost my husband 10 months ago. So I post every day about how I am getting through this, but coming up with photos sucks.
Well, you can always use stock photos,
Okay.
like you could
Yeah.
always do a sunrise, looking out over a lake. I mean, I don't, you'll have to match it to the messaging, but you can always, somebody summiting a mountain, somebody sitting at a kitchen table, like any kind of generic stock photo, you can definitely always use those. I do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question, and Maura, I'm so sorry to hear about your husband.
Oh, thank you.
So my question is, when you do post, is it better to do it as an individual, or with your business name?
As an individual, for sure, especially if you're a coach. Yeah. But
okay, thank you.
I would say as an individual, I would say investing in a business LinkedIn is a smart strategy as well, but you can repurpose the content. I would say your primary LinkedIn strategy should be you as an individual. Yeah.
Okay, so can I elaborate on that a little bit since you just said that? Like I said, I have the Disrupt the Impossible one, and then I have my own personal one that I had before. And I do have more connections on my personal one. I mean, shouldn't you still be using your company profile to post the same information on? Because sometimes I feel like I'm posting the same thing and I still have the same individuals. I may have 1 or 2 new people under my business one, but it seems like they followed me over to my business profile, and it seems like I'm just duplicating the efforts.
I wouldn't necessarily do that. I mean, that's fine, like if that's what you have the bandwidth for, but a better strategy would be to differentiate the content on both. So say like maybe you do 1 post a week on your business and then you do like 2 posts a week on your personal, and make them different. That would be like a more strategic strategy in my mind. Otherwise, it's a lot of the same content going up on the platform, and it'll probably affect engagement. Like it'll probably affect performance and your own personal follower growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, sorry, can I just ask real quick? So should we not have should we marry our business page and our personal page? That's the short question. Should they reflect like yours I just saw on LinkedIn says your name and all that, and it's reflective of be the brand?
So the content should not be exact like copy. So in terms of content, the content should not be copy paste from the business page to the personal page. My personal page is all about be the brand because that's my business. And so I'm the founder CEO of it. So like that's why I'm on LinkedIn, but there are other things about me as a person that I think helps my business. So like I still talk about those things on LinkedIn. But yeah, no, my whole LinkedIn is like, it's like be the brand, what we're doing, what we're about, thought leadership, LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I mean, your personal LinkedIn should be selling your business for sure. And I would consider that to be your primary strategy on LinkedIn, is using your personal LinkedIn to sell your services. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Madeline. This was
Thank
so
you guys.
helpful. I
Great
know people
y'all.
are just beginning at doing this, but if you just go out, I think Madeline's idea, just going to look for people who have followers, or just look at Madeline's and follow her example, and you'll get started. Okay, thank you so much. Have a
Thank you
great
guys.
day.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so we've got a number of goals ahead of us to get on LinkedIn and build our personal brand. And I wanted to introduce Mike. Are you here? There you are. Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm
Thanks
good. How are
for
you?
joining us. I'm just going to give a quick introduction, and then I would just love for you to introduce more about what Wintrust can do for solopreneurs. We have a group here of solopreneurs running their own businesses. A number of them are coaches, therapists, people running marketing agencies. But I'm going to tell everyone a little bit about Mike. He is a successful, deeply experienced commercial banker and board member who
That
brings a
means I'm
strong...
old, but go ahead.
Pardon?
I said that means I'm old.
Oh, no. Who brings a strong combination of leadership expertise, strategic vision, and financial and operational acumen applicable to executive positions in an array of industries. He's a trusted advisor to and partner of top management and boards of directors, valued for developing and launching strategic plans and moving businesses forward. So thank you for joining us. Wintrust has generously sponsored this group of solopreneurs, this mastermind session that lasts for 6 months. So we're very appreciative and would love just to hear, 5 minutes of what Wintrust can do for solopreneurs. We would love that.
Yeah, so I don't know what you guys know about Wintrust, but we are Chicago's bank, and that's very real. We were started in 1992 up in Lake Forest. We have branches all over Chicagoland, southern Wisconsin, think Madison to Milwaukee, and have 2 branches in Northwest Indiana, one in Dyer and a brand new one that we just opened in St. John. So we're an interesting organizational structure in that Wintrust Financial is our holding company, if you will. So you might be familiar with our name at Wintrust Arena, where the Chicago Sky plays basketball. You'll see our signs at Wrigley Field. You'll see our signs at Northwestern, Guaranteed Rate Field, kind of everywhere. But underneath the holding company, there's 15 separately legally chartered banks, and we have right around 130 different brand names. So you may be familiar with Wintrust in your local communities because I live in Naperville, and out by me, it's called Naperville Bank and Trust. I work in Oak Lawn, and it's Oak Lawn Bank and Trust. Down the street is First National Bank of Evergreen Park. And so we're all around you. You may not know it. You have to read the fine print below the signs to find out that we're a Wintrust community bank. So we're about 55 billion in assets, which is tiny. It sounds like a super big number, but when you compare it to the Chases and the Bank of Americas of the world, we're quite tiny. But our business is pretty straightforward. We are a commercial bank dedicated to financing businesses, of all sizes. So I manage 2 teams down here in Oak Lawn, a community banking team, which deals with the smallest of the small companies to usually $2 million in revenue. And then my business banking group kind of takes over $2 million in revenue and takes us all the way up to $30 million in revenue. And we work with all kinds of different companies, manufacturers, distribution, service predominates our economy now. Professional practice groups like doctors, dentists, law firms. So if you take a look out your window wherever you're at now and you see a business, that probably means that we have one of those, in our portfolio. So our, lead products is, I'm guessing the business size here, Maura, is 0 to maybe a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
All right. So we have, we offer our go-to market in this space would be, it's called our Easy Access product. And we'll start on the loan side. But the Easy Access product, it's a credit facility that's available Well, there's two components to it. You can get up to $50,000 in credit on an unsecured basis. All you need to do is demonstrate that you've been in business for 2 years and and your credit score is pretty good. And from 50,000 to 250,000, which is the top of the program, we do a little more underwriting. We will gather your tax returns and take a look at credit history and all that stuff. But what we're looking for is, profitability in your businesses that can prove to pay back your loan. So, people think, oh, collateral. It's really more with any bank. It's about cash flow and showing that you have, the ability to be able to repay us. We will take collateral above 50,000, but it's not really what the bank wants to. We're not in the business of liquidating somebody's receivables or buildings or equipment to get repaid. So, when we approach a loan, it's to, help you get from A to B, but enter into the situation where we are responsible and want you to succeed and not take on too much debt and get get buried and bad things happen. So like I said, the easy access product comes in the form of a line of credit, which is you can borrow up and down on a daily basis. You just pay interest only on whatever it is that you use. Literally, the interest on the loan is calculated per day. And so it's nice to fill gaps. Let's say you have some receivables that you're trying to collect, but you need to pay your people today. So borrow on the line, pay your people, collect your receivable, pay the bank back. It's kind of how that works. And then we also have term loans, which are more for, think, capital projects. So if you have a store and you want to do some build out, where we'll lend you up to 250,000 and then you'll pay us back over, say, every project's different, but it may be a 3, 5, or 7 year period. It's also, good tool to buy, smaller pieces of equipment. So whether it's, if it's restaurant equipment or whatever, it's a vehicle. Beyond that, though, to the extent beyond the easy access product, we just provide traditional lines of credit and bigger financing vehicles for, like, if we're in a position to buy a building, we do, commercial mortgages, with a 25-year payback period. We are an SBA lender. We are the second largest SBA lender in the city by dollars that we pump out. And then we're the third largest by, I'll call it widgets, but the number of loans that are made. But it's a core competency here at the bank. So every business and community banker that exists here at Wintrust, and I want to say there's probably right around 100 of us, maybe 120. Every single person has a goal of doing a loan with $1 million, at least a loan with $1 million loan target every single year. So it's really a part of our core, our fabric. We support all the major programs. So SBA Express, which is loans from 150 to 500, to 7A, which goes up to 5.5 million. We also work with it's very rare, a cap line project, which is more project-based financing through the SBA. One of my clients right now, we're going to close probably right around the first week of August. They're an exporter of food products. So we have an export line of credit available with them where we give them a line of credit and the SBA provides us with a 90% guarantee. And then lastly, there's the SBA 504 product, which is used for buying equipment and buildings, where the bank takes the first 50%. The SBA will then finance the remaining 40%. What's nice about it is, you can buy a building with only 10% down, provided your business can afford it. And it's a great way to, create that brick and mortar for yourself and get yourself your own shop or factory or whatever it is. So the loans, we are very much generalists. Like I said, we don't really specialize in anything. We have specialty groups. But if you can, I sit on 95th Street down here on the south side, drive up and down the street and whatever you see, we probably have one of those in our portfolio types of businesses that we lend to. Then on the deposit side, we have all kinds of very friendly accounts. So, if you're interested in banking with Wintrust, we take a look at your bank statements, and if you're somebody that has 0 to 50 transactions a month, we have an account for you. If you're a little bigger business and you're 50 to 150, we've got another account with you. And so basically the way it works is if you have minimum deposits, you don't get charged any fees. But on top of that, we have a strong treasury management platform. So, for smaller businesses like yourself, that may be the ability to do ACHs and wire transfers from your computer. A big one is remote deposit capture, which is you get checks at your place of business. You don't have time to drive to the bank every day necessarily to deposit those. So you run the checks through a machine and it winds up into your account pretty instantaneously. So we've got all those bells and whistles. So I'm trying to think what else. So, like I said, we're very convenient. When you bank with Wintrust, we're here to be your partner, just not a vendor. If you come in, if you have a loan, you're going to have a banking officer that's there to help you and guide you in your business. The big three for any business owner is have a good banker, a good accountant, and a good lawyer. And that's your trio. Those are your advisors. And, all you guys have very unique and different business interests, but, no one is an expert at everything. And so it's important to, surround yourself with quality people to kind of fill in those gaps that, may not necessarily, be your bailiwick, So I work very closely with a nonprofit on the West Side, and they have a thing called Neighborhood Entrepreneurship Lab. And I will tell you, every time it's a lot of creative people that are scared to death of the numbers. And so that's where a good bank and accountant can get in there and help you out with the financing side of your business, which is important in planning, especially when you're growing. It takes some strategy and thinking and intelligent planning to take say you're a $500,000 business to $1.5 million. You can't necessarily just sell your way into success. There's some, an exercise in there around capital planning and all that stuff. And we at Wintrust here help you with that. So.
Thank you so much, Mike. Do you mind if I share your email address in case people have?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll put that in the chat right now.
Yeah. And I wrote down a couple of things. If we have a couple minutes here, do we have a couple minutes?
Actually, we don't
just
have
about when you apply, because when this originally came to me is like, personal branding, but, applying for a loan, and it's, I will tell you, I just wrote down a couple things, be authentic when you approach the bank. You're not gonna, we ask for too much information. You're not gonna BS, charm anybody, schmooze anybody to get a loan. Be honest with people. The bank's gonna find out about it. If you're approaching, you get a loan, maybe you have a poor credit history or previous bankruptcy, get out in front of that and talk about that. And if it's not a bank, there are other places in the marketplace that can help you finance your business. Be professional. That's when you approach a bank, whether that's online or I'm sorry, walk into a branch. But and I think the previous speaker spoke to it. Be careful what you put online, whether it's LinkedIn, X, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. You want to put the best foot forward. And to the extent that you can, at the end of the day, borrowing money is about your business. Do the best you can to understand your numbers. We're going to ask you for tax returns. We're going to ask you for personal tax returns. We're going to ask you for personal financial statements and projections. And, whether, many of you, I'm sure, are capable of doing all that yourself. But if not, find the help that'll lend you the credibility to, have your best foot forward when you want to apply for that, loan at the bank.
Thank you so much. And people can come to us for help with your projections and getting ready.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Mike, I'm going to put everyone in breakout rooms so they can discuss what you've talked about and what our subject matter expert talked about. And I want you to have a great day. And thank you for coming to our session today.
No, glad to be here. Thanks for having me. And you're going to get them my email?
Yes, I put it in the chat so everyone
Oh,
can
you
see
did. Okay, great.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, thank you.
Okay.
This has been a privilege. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to put you in breakout rooms for 7 minutes again. And this time, I want you to talk about your goal regarding personal branding. So you have a month. So remember to keep it reasonable. You don't want to overreach, but you want to make sure you are reaching a bit, reaching outside your comfort zone. So I will put you in until 10:56. Any questions before we do this? Okay. I don't see any questions. I will put you, so 10:56, about 7 minutes. Hi there. Now I can't hear you. Okay, welcome back. How was that?
Really good.
It's good? Never enough
Yes.
time. I know what I tried to cut Mike short, but it's hard to interrupt people. He was on a roll. He's passionate about what he does. So thank you for joining us for our first session. We'd love having you here. Your homework is to work on your goal for the 1 month of personal branding, and then also take some steps towards your 6-month goal that you put in your application, and I will remind you of what that is. And then also we have our next session in a month. I'm going to send out a survey just to get feedback on how you believe this session went. And we're always open to advice, suggestions, criticism. We're always testing our idea. I know that's the big sell that we say. We always say, test your idea, get it out there, and iterate based on customer feedback. So that's what we do. Does anyone want to add anything? Does anyone have any questions? We have about 1 more minute. I want to honor everyone's time.
I just wanted to say something.
Okay.
Oh, so that I told my group as well, because I didn't get a chance to mention it during the presentation for Wintrust, that I'm now going into my 2nd year with having that easy access line of credit with them, which I was saying was like one of the easiest processes that I've been through. I'm also a client of Chase since I started my business. We have a love-hate relationship. So to be seen and kind of heard as a smaller business through them in the process was fairly easy and non-intimidating. So I do plan on continuing to nurture that relationship and even being able to get an increase this year from my previous line of credit. So I just highly recommend for you guys to check them out.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Any questions before we close the day?
No questions, but I just wanted to reiterate something I said in our group. I'm going to be trying to post more on LinkedIn because I know a big portion of my audience is probably there. But for some people, maybe LinkedIn is not where your target audience is, but the same idea about your brand and posting applies. So I would just keep that in mind for people who might feel hesitant, either push yourself and try it or think of where is your audience? Are they on LinkedIn or are they on some other site? They might be elsewhere.
Yeah, she was a specialist on LinkedIn, and I'm finding that LinkedIn, there are a lot of people out there. I mean, on every site, you may be surprised at who you find on LinkedIn, but I agree, Tanya, and you know best as an expert on TikTok and Instagram, that there may be other social media tools that you can use. Okay. Well, thank you for today. It is 11 a.m. We'll see you in a month. And please don't hesitate to reach out to Felicitas, Yesenia, or me. So thank you for a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much for sharing.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Where's the, oh.